Interview bot for the NME here, giving you the latest Gorillaz news. Free Murdoch believers, here's the one you've been waiting for. The rebuttal to 2D's big NME interview. Murdoch's behind bars interview. Go with us on this one. The Wikipedia page for Prison Wormwood Scrubs is one hell of a read. This brief history of the nation's most infamous prison is checked with terrifying anecdotes, grimy details and a whole lot of bad guys. When you reach the notable former inmates section, you'll now see that Gorillaz bassist Murdoch Nichols is listed alongside the likes of Charles Bronson, Ian Brady, and Libs man Pete Doherty. A new album from the non-incarcerated members of Gorillaz, titled The Now saw 2D wrestling control of the group from Murdoch's pause, and when we spoke to 2D a couple weeks back, he seemed to be pretty chuffed that Murdoch is incarcerated at Her Majesty's pleasure. It's been like a massive meteor strike, but instead of the meteor wiping out all life, it just blew up one really annoying dinosaur, 2D explained. After 2D visited NME Towers, we thought it was only fair to give Murdoch a right of reply. Obviously, he couldn't come to us, so we were granted visitation rights and got in Murdoch's side of the story. Let's just say we're glad there was a thick piece of glass between us. Hi Murdoch, thanks for talking to us. How are they treating you in Wormwood Scrubs?
Well, hello, enemy. You know, it's always nice talking to you, lads. They're treating me marvellous, as per. The warden's well and happy to have me here. Of course, there's been a massive spike in crooks and murderers wanting a transfer here. You know, I'm like the Dalai Lama of this place. Every day there's a line of faithful outside of my cell, waiting for a few seconds with me. You know, we're very similar, actually. You know, me and the Dalai Lama. And no, not just because now I'm wearing an orange onesie.
How's the food?
Absolute filth for the other mugs in here. But when you're a high profile like me, you get all the privileges. Steak, caviar, and Cocoa Puffs. And you know what? What I can't have, I get droned in over the walls. For example, I told 2D to drone me in a Swiss roll with a file inside of it. You know, a classic gag. But the moron sends me a nail file in a mini roll. You know, manicured hands are the last thing you want in here, mate. It gives off a very dangerous signal.
According to its Wikipedia page, Wormwood Scrubs has had quite a number of infamous inmates. Charles Bronson, Ian Brady, Pete Doherty. Which would you rather bunk up with if you had to choose?
Alright, first, why the bollocks am I not on that list? One of my devoted fans needs to update that Wikipedia. Pronto! Second, Murdoch Nichols doesn't bunk up with anyone. I pretty much have my own wing here. I'm like Pablo Escobar whenever he got banged up on his very own Playboy mansion. I've got me a pool table, plasma TV, and a chocolate fountain. Hell, I even got me a hot tub, although using that requires, vigilance. You see, there's a duo around here known as the Soap Sisters, and believe me, you don't want to find those bastards lurking under your bubbles. Trust me.
Have you been working on any music in there?
Well, I've been working on a lot of things. You know, just because I'm locked up doesn't mean I'm a prisoner. My mind will always be free. Well, unless they do that brainwashing thing, like in A Clockwork Orange, to cleanse me of my evils. Although, funnily enough, I tried that for a laugh at a party once, and it didn't even scratch the surface.
Has your mate Damon Albarn come to visit you?
I'm not receiving guests at the moment, until I get to the bottom of who framed me and put me in here. Everyone is a suspect, even you. In fact, where were you on the night of my arrest, eh?
Have you heard the Now? What do you think of it?
Oh, that's convenient. Changing the subject. You're on the list, pal.
Where would you place it in a ranking of the top Gorillaz albums?
Up your arse, mate. You know what? This interview started well, but I'm beginning to dislike you. You know, I thought this was going to be a friendly chit-chat, a chance for you to sit down and get the real story, and maybe even get a signed Wormwood Scrubs brochure. But you're trying to rattle my cage. The only one who gets to rattle my cage around here is the warden. You know, to get my attention, he basically delivers my bi-hourly martini. So let's keep those questions focused on me, shall we?
How did you end up in prison? Who's this El Mierda fella?
Alright, that's better. El Mierda, right. He is suspect numero uno. The chump that most likely got me banged up here. El Mierda is a ruthless, ungodly kingpin of a criminal empire with tendrils all across Central America. He's pure, unfettered evil. Imagine if Anne Robinson mated with Krampus and sired a son. Actually, don't. That's terrible.
You need to fight Big Balls McGuinness to break out of prison. What's going to be your battle plan?
We've already rumbled, mate. Prison law rule number 1. Wallop the hardest con to show the rest of these animals who's at the top of the food chain. It wasn't easy, mind you. Besides Big Ball's oversized nuts, he's got fists like seaside caravans. But he didn't stand a chance against my finishing move. My version of the spinning bird kick from Street Fighter 2. What I do is, I jump in the air, right? Flip upside down, do the splits like Van Damme, and then windmill kick his face into submission. Game over for him.
2D doesn't seem to be too upset about you being gone. Any comment on that?
Look, mate, everyone knows that if it wasn't for me, Stuart would just be working at Uncle Norm's Organ Emporium still. Yeah, Stuart, that's his real name. I created 2D. I was kind enough to hit him with my car twice, and the rest is rock and roll history. I gave him fame, sex appeal, a weekly stipend, well above minimum wage, and he replays me by trying to write off an album of his own. It's just sad. Look up 2D in the dictionary, and right after two-dimensional, it says ungrateful wanker.
What did you think of the things 2D said about you in his NME interview?
I didn't read it, pal. I've got better things to do with my life. I'm making a lovely bedside table in the woodshop, dovetail joints and everything. And I'm really getting good at pull-ups, so there's that.
He described you as a really annoying dinosaur in our interview. Which dinosaur would you compare yourself to?
What? That little... a dinosaur? Well, he's balls that up because it's widely accepted that dinosaurs are brilliant, and as the head of Gorillaz, that would make me a T-Rex, king of the primordial jungle. So how can a T-Rex be annoying? He's a solitary apex predator, not a gormless, leaf-munching Diplo-docus. By the way, that wasn't a dig on Diplo. The man's a rare talent.
Are you angry about being replaced by Ace from Powerpuff Girls? Do you have a plan for kicking him out of the band when you get released, or will you double up on bassists?
Angry? Never. Look, Ace is an old pal. We go way back. A lovely, genuine fella, and an underrated actor of his day. As a TV villain, he's up there with Mumra, in my opinion. As for kicking him out of Gorillaz, let's see how this mess unfolds still. But at least I'll make him head roadie or to a bus driver. Something nice like that.
Have you got a message for the fans supporting the Free Murdoch campaign?
Yes, it happens I'm working on a little something. To all my millions, if not billions, of supporters out there, in every city, town, village, hamlet, yurt, and Bodean tent, your candles of liberty have lit the fire of freedom in my heart. We have nothing to lose but these chains, specifically mine. Rise up in my name, and our song of freedom will ring throughout the stars for eternity, in this life and the next. Hashtag Free Murdoch. Now, if you excuse me, I need to get back to my pull-ups.
And there you have it. Murdoch is in misery in prison and is counting on you to help him ascend to freedom, much to 2D's dismay if he hears this. The Now is now out. Interview bot for the NME signing off.